I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Dylan Bowden.
And we are the Pop Culturists, and this is our review of Resident Evil 2 Remake. So big thank you to Capcom Australia for providing us the code for this game. So we spent the better part of the last week with the Resident Evil 2 Remake. So this is a essentially from the ground up remake of the original PlayStation 1 classic. There are some minor changes here and there, of course, but it does focus primarily on the stories of Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. So depending on who you play, depending on how the story goes. Now, I myself haven't played the original Resident Evil 2. About yourself?
I'm old, yeah. I played the original Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2. 1997, 98?
Yeah, around about there somewhere.
Yeah, it's like 20 years ago, at least.
I think it's 20 years ago to this week.
Wow.
No, 21 years ago to this week. 21 years ago to this week.
Okay, well, there you go, 98. Yeah.
So because of that, I don't have any sort of connection or nostalgic feelings towards this game. There are friends of ours like Zach from Well Played and Brendan from the 8-Bit. These guys, this is their favorite game of all time. So for them to then spend time with this remake, for them it's heaven. It's heaven. But me not having anything. So how did you feel having played the original, but I assume may have been 20 years ago, compared to playing this new version now?
I like the Resident Evil series as a franchise. I mean, it does vary game to game quality, but the core series is really good. And recently, the dynamics have changed in the way that the gameplay is, so it's a lot more action driven, where it used to be a lot more survival horror back in the day. And I'd forgotten how survival horror-y it was, and how much of not a slug, but I'd say a slug. To get through the games are, but yeah, it was a nice nostalgia trip, and it did feel like a new AAA title. So you just felt like you're playing a new game. If you haven't played it, it'd be a good experience to get into, I think. Yeah,
which is certainly where I came from. So I originally saw the trailer for this at E3 last year, and it caught my attention straight away. I'm like, that shit looks good, and then thankfully, once again, to Capcom, we were able to spend some time with it at PAX. And once I got my hands on it, I'm like, oh no, I need this. So what I played at PAX was essentially the one-shot demo, which is available to everyone.
Yes.
So that's where you piss fart around in the police department for 30 minutes or whatever. So for me, I thought this game was fucking fantastic. So I completed one run through as Leon. I did it in 7 hours and 20-ish minutes.
Oh, record.
Not quite. And that was on the standard difficulty. Now, you were playing on the assisted one because you wanted to sort of give it a red-hot go.
Easy.
The easy difficulty. And there is also a hardcore version as well, which apparently is brutal.
I can't imagine it being much harder.
So... And I did jump into sort of a second run as Claire as well, but we'll get to those sort of story things in a minute. So, what I assume is similar to the first one. It is based around the idea that you, as Leon Kennedy, you are coming to Raccoon City as a new recruit, as your first day at the police department, and Claire is coming to the same city to find her brother, who is also a policeman.
In the first game, yeah. Chris Redfield was the main character in Resident Evil 1.
Yep.
And Jill Valentine, and this is his sister Claire.
Oh, cool. There you go. So she that's why they're there, and they end up meeting at a gas station in the game, in this remake, where they then have that exchange and they head into the city. Now, regardless of whether you play as Claire for your first run or Leon for your first run, this situation is entirely the same. Then you enter the city, explosion happens, you get separated, and that's what begins the campaign, where you first you enter the police department, you do all the Resident Evil-esque things, like running around the house, backtracking, collecting things, different keys and shit, and then moving on to other levels, and then getting to the end. So as you further progress, you get to understand the Umbrella Corporation's involvement in this current zombie outbreak. And
the T-virus?
That's the G-virus in this.
Oh, they renamed it.
Yeah, it's the G-virus.
Whoa.
I was positive it was the T-virus too.
Jeez.
So when they called it the G-virus, I was like...
Was it with an accent?
No, it was just because I think it was subtitles, just G virus.
Oh,
Very interesting.
spelling.
But I guess I don't want to. I'm stumbling because I don't want to jerk this game's dick too hard.
Why not?
But I kind of really want to because I thought the game was dope. So this game is coming out at an exactly perfect time. So we're right in January. We kind of had a bit of a quiet, bit of a lull after Red Dead. So that was in October. So November, December were pretty chill. We're pretty much at the end of January now, and there's been not a whole lot of big key releases. So even though now my day job is playing games, I was burnt out at the end of last year. I didn't realize that Resident Evil 2 was the game that I needed. Like, it has reinvigorated my love for games again in just like a 2-week period. It had because it's not a genre that I play a lot. So for me,
the horror genre, you mean?
The horror genre, or even because it's mild Metroidvania-esque gameplay, I don't play it that often. So for me, it felt really good. And it also felt comforting because I loved Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was the shit on PS2. It was so good. Loved it dearly. So coming into this, when this game feels a lot like Resident Evil 4, but also looks a lot like Resident Evil 7, which I've said this before in other preview discussions, because it's got that nice new schmick look. So it's exactly what I needed. It felt comforting. It felt new. It felt challenging, but also not so challenging that I couldn't proceed any further. So like I'd get stumped on puzzles, and then I'd go, and then eventually I would get there. Like it was never like, bang, you can't get through. As in like I never got to a point where I couldn't proceed any further in my first playthrough.
Nice.
What about you? What's your thoughts on your? You haven't got credits.
No, I put it about 6 to 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
It was like 6 hours 40 last I checked, and then I played it for a little bit longer. But yeah, the fundamentals of the game is what bothers me the most. And I remember this about the old Resident Evil. It's just like my logic is just like, why do I have to get a bolt cutters to unlock that? Just shoot it. Like I'm not going to go look for bolt cutters because I would just kick that door in. Or in the parking garage, get a car and just push it through the thing.
Yeah,
or
just fang it through the gate.
Like there's so many times I've just climbed the fence. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not walking around for hours on end to find a key that opens that door. Boot the door in. They're old doors. So the collecting the keys, the storage, that improved when you get the patches, of course, and collecting things. But the minimal bullets is the whole idea of the horror genre, to survival horror genre. So you've got very little ammunition, you got very little health kits and things like that. Again, the fucking herbs, honestly, like what world is like, we're gonna run our health on herbs? Like the police station's got a fuck ton of herbs, right? There was like booklets saying,
and then when
apparently herbs are good. We don't know how to use them yet in 1998, but if you combine them, you might find things.
Yeah, when you mush them together and make them into like a little like pile of kush, it's like I'm just gonna smoke my herb and feel better.
Yeah, I agree with the health sprays more, but rarely did I ever find a health spray. It was always
like 5 of them.
I found like 1,700 red herbs, a couple of blue herbs, and the occasional green herb. But I had it on easy, so I didn't really die. Even when I was like lurching around the most, and it wasn't like caution, I still never really died. I only died a couple of times. But yeah, the backtracking and stuff. The fun is like exploring the world initially, but then when you get stuck on things, it's really frustrating. And I didn't use the map a lot.
I use the map constantly.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this, and then by the end I was like, map left, map, like it was map play. But overall, like visually, it looks incredible.
The game is stunning, might I add. Like as when I did play, the preview build that I looked, it's just a schmick. Like it looks so fucking good. And the opening cinematic, which is a sort of a truck driver, it zooms in on the meat of a burger, and then it zooms out. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then it comes to this really high detailed burger. The guy chomps it and his mouth moves all realistically, and it's all kind of, I'm like, this looks polished as fuck. Like, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the cutscenes are amazing. And looking back on the the voice work on the old one.
Oh, yeah, we went back and watched the original intro, knowing like, I wonder what the similar they are.
Yeah,
not even close.
Like the voice work's really impressive as well. I was like, did they just take the original sound and
they redid all of it?
They redid all of it. So it's really good. The acting's really good. It's more natural. They filled out dialogue, so it makes it feel like it's not like stilted performances. The gore is taken up. I'd say
there is a sheen and a juiciness to this world. Like everything is just juicy.
The guy that gets stuck under the door.
Yeah, like as in from the demo build, like if the guy gets wanged through the door, pulling him out guts, and everything's shiny and slippery, and like that really adds to this grossness. So like I was playing on a PS4 Pro with HDR, so it has this nice sort of color effect. So those sheens tend to stand out more, and especially when there are moments when you do leave the police station, and it's just piss butt raining. Everything looks damp. Like it looks damp. It's good.
You also mentioned that you were playing with the headphones, so you had the surround sound going in your head.
Yeah, I was a moron, and like I say moron because it was a silly idea. I was playing with the Audio-Technica M50s headphones that I have, Schmick headphones, and I had it like the 3D.
You're playing at night?
Playing at night like an idiot.
In the dark?
Yep. With the surround sound. So I had these headphones on, and I have it cranked because I want to, and everything's making me jump because like the game has this incredible what's the word I'm looking for? Just ambience. So like even when you're walking down a corridor and you know there's no zombies because you fucking cleaned that part of the station out, you're just getting these and like the battering of shutters and the rain and the wind and little creaks here and there, and it's just enough to keep you on edge. Like mind you, a lot of the times that I jumped, because I did jump like a handful of times, they were more like like aside from this big fuck off dude who is in the original, but that just I was like, oh fuck, and then he relentlessly chases you. Very similar to Resident Evil 7, how the father of the family just monsters you around the entire mansion. Similar thing. So aside from that tension, and even when you hear his footsteps on the level above you, and it's thumping, like you're on edge. Like I felt anxious the whole time I played it. Like even though I was and then I got out of the house. I'm like, cool. I hope that guy stays back there. It'll be sweet. I move into like this garage bay underneath the thing. Next thing, dogs. There's these hounds, and you hear the hounds, howling and barking, growling around you. Even though you're in that room and there's no fucking dogs there. Like there's a constant state of just edge and fear. But yeah, I never felt like crippling fear. It was just tense, fucking tense.
Interesting. I couldn't hear anything over the whirring of my PlayStation. I think it's about to explode.
Oh, see, saying that though, mine also did that too, and mine's been modified and reheat synced and shit. Like it's just pulling everything out of that game. Yeah. Also been playing Ace Combat 7, which is a fighter pilot game. Yeah. Really handy because that shit was like a jet engine. So I really felt immersed.
Residual sounds.
That, yeah.
But the things that scared me was because some sounds come through the control pad, like unlocking things and stuff. Like, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I thought it stayed true to the original. So there is new things that I've added to it, little bits and things here and there, like cutscenes, extra dialogue, other things that may or may not be able to be mentioned. But yeah, just the return to the police station, and the more I played it this time around, being like someone who has a critical mind towards it, more than just playing it as a teenager growing up, it is very, in a sense, it's open, but in the sense it's very contained. Yeah. Like it is essentially, initially at least, a police station, and then opens out to different areas.
Well, yeah, so there's a number of stages that you get to different locations, but they're all treated the same as in...
And then eventually they all kind of link up anyway.
Yeah.
But playing like through the game itself, I remember, I'm not sure if this is Resident Evil 1 and 2, but there was a lot of like when you get to use things. So essentially it's third person. Which the other one was, but this is more like you said, Resident Evil 4 style over the shoulder most of the time, and a lot more fluid animation.
No fixed camera angles; it's free camera.
Exactly, and but when you do use items and things like that, use your bolt cutters, kind of goes to a static image and then an animation of that. So it kept that element. But I remember like you go to a door and then it's a door animation and the door opens and then you're in the next room.
Yeah, it's both.
Whereas you can go through and flow through to each different room in this one now. I thought that was pretty impressive. Zombies, I'm come from the having watched.
Speaking of load screens, before we jump into that, I never saw a load screen. Now that I think about it,
no,
not one.
Not unless you load up the game.
Yeah, and it takes a little, like, aside from if you die and it takes a little bit to load up the game, like you'll never face one.
No.
Shit.
Yeah. But zombies, I am of the mind of like, okay, I've seen one zombie movies, I know how this works. Go to the morgue, pull the thing open. All right, I'm going to shoot this in the head 3 times. Cool. Don't have to deal with it. And then it still gets up on me.
Dude, the amount of hits that it takes to fuck these zombies is insane. So, like, you get to a point, you find them, and you're like, all right, cool. You get pop, 3 shots, and they fall back. You're like, sick. I'm going to go back to looting that shit. You turn around, and it's there again. And
or it's like crawling on the ground again.
Like, granted, sometimes you blow out its face, and it's literally rips apart.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, I'm pretty safe.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I've done it, and I've ripped a dude's arm off, I've blown a leg out, and they've let me stop doing it. I'm like, sick.
And I get bit
and then somehow it just starts
so many
crawling my
times.
ass.
Like, I know the rule is if you get bit by a zombie, you turn into a zombie, but I got pretty munged on. I was pretty
Like,
safe.
heaps.
Yeah, a lot of bites and I was fine. But yeah, like a lot of that, like shooting people dead on the ground. I'm like, I think that one's going to get up again because he seems pretty fresh. Even ones that didn't. One didn't even have a head. Like it was just like part of a head and it still got up and attacked me. So yeah, I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah.
But it's just the grind of backtracking, not knowing what to do is frustrating because I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna Google it. Oh wait, the game's not out yet. Go do it. like 4 times I tried doing that because I just couldn't figure out things. Like, and what kind of asshole is like hitching up the library fucking book stand? What dick does that and then leaves the jack there and fucking puts the other handle dick God knows where and like fucking the 3rd level atrium. Yeah. Like that pissed me off so I knew you're going to push these together and then you walk across.
Yeah.
And every time I look at it, it's like, it's just a thing. It's just a thing. So I'm like, fucking hell.
See, I had the opposite effect. Like, as I'm wandering around and it's like, here's a roll of film. I'm like, oh, fuck. I got to get that back to the dark room. I need to find out what that is. Or it's like, here's a lock. Here's a key. I'm like, oh, wait, hang on. I saw the rune that matched that key. Like,
but I'm like, oh, which one's the heart key? It does show on the map.
Yeah, which I like.
But I'm just like, oh, which one's the heart key
And then
again?
when I get into the next area, which, spoilers, is a sewer, like, there's a key that just says sewer key. I'm like, fuck. And then I quickly, because I can feel that I'm at the end of the sewer, at the end of this level. I'm like, I haven't used this key yet. Because thankfully, one of the little features the game has is in the inventory. If it's an item that's no longer served its purpose, there's a little red tick, and you can piss it off. So rather than be like, oh, do I still need these bulk cards? I got to carry them around.
There's
like,
things you can't drop. Like even you find something, you can't drop it if it's important.
Yeah. Correct. So you can't discard anything because once you discard it, it's gone.
Yes.
But like you say, if you pick up a key and there's still a door you haven't used that's needed, it won't tell you. It just says it's empty. There's no red tick. So you open. So that's when I was playing in the sewer area. I'm like, oh, I've got this key. It says I haven't used all its, and it can still be used. Where am I looking? The quick scope of the map. I'm like, oh crap, there it is.
But at the end of the day,
and I love that shit. That was awesome fun. I thought it was great because, like, granted, when I got there and I cracked the door open, it wasn't anything exciting, but I enjoyed the backtrack because I can remember pretty much, even right now, that police station is in here.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, you do know the layout of the police station. I know where the library is. I know where this is. I know where the clock tower is. Like, even right now in my head, I can see a map of the police station. And I know what's down that corridor. I know how many seats are there and what doors are there. So it does leave a lasting impression. But yeah, like the things like collecting stuff, my issue was, I'm like, what's important and what's not? Do I really need to unlock this locker, or is it just going to be shotgun shells? Or is it going to be the key that I need to advance? And not knowing that is so frustrating. That's why I'll be like, should I bother with this?
Dude.
No, cool.
Other location, I find one of those films, as I mentioned. At that point, I don't know how I could get back to the mansion to put it in the dark thing. So knowing that I finished the campaign without utilizing that item, it eats at me. It's eating at me right now as I mention it. I'm like, I need to know what was on that. I gotta take it back. And like, I tried to boot up an old save and it just boots up right near the final boss. I'm like, fuck. I will never know what's on that thing.
Well, I liked when I'm putting in the little medallions and the things open up to the sewer. I'm like, all right, I'm kicking goals here. This is going well.
Yeah.
But then when I've done so much and then the tyrant's following you around, I'm like, I don't like exploring as it is. Now I got this asshole following me around And like you just shoot him as many times, and then he just stops moving, and you know he's going to come back again.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating, whittling down all your bullets.
So I should mention as well, 'cause speaking of the time, well, I'll move into that now. So the way it works is you've got storyline A and storyline B. So regardless of who you play, whether you play Leon or Claire, story A will be the same, as in you'll do the same trudge through the police station and the other levels, etc.
How far did you get into B?
Like 2 hours, 3 hours maybe.
Did you meet the guy in the police station again?
Yeah.
Oh, but
there is a particular scene where they do cross paths,
Yeah.
and when you're in the police station, so treat it like a parallel universe, as in you've got story A, regardless of who that is, that's the trajectory you go, and that is the pivotal point. That is the point of cross paths, right? So whoever you play, they'll have that exchange, and then you'll go on your separate ways again.
Yeah.
Now, having not finished that second run through with Claire, I'm not quite sure how it ends and how it combines.
But is that guy in the police station the cop?
Which one?
The one that's like, and he lays down. He's like,
oh yeah.
Mitchell,
So when you Mitch, whenever you, I think it's Mitch.
Oh, he's
Martin.
Whoa, nickname basis now.
Yeah, well, me and Mitch go way back.
Pretty sure
So as I come in, that's when he's a zombie. Spoilers.
He's already a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if
because that story's he's already been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, he's been there a while. So when you're working, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Blow his face out.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I'm like, misery,
Just let you
Mitch.
wander around.
Go on. Nah, shot him.
You shot him way early.
No, I tried to, but you couldn't.
Oh.
I was like, he's going to come back. I'm just going to shoot him now. He's going to turn into a zombie eventually, but wouldn't let me.
Yeah, so obviously we don't want to dive into too many spoilers, but there is that pivotal part. So if you do decide to do a second playthrough, don't go new game and select whoever you haven't played. Make sure you go the second run option. Otherwise, you'll be repeating the same game that you've played. So the game does record your times, as in it'll give you a run time for Leon and Claire first run, and a Claire and Leon second run.
Oh, cool.
So you can.
So you could do it 4 times?
4 times, essentially, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And if you want that platinum trophy, you're going to fucking do it 4 times. That trophy list is hard.
I did unlock a whole lot of stuff. Tell me about that. Did you try any of that?
No, it's like I wanted...
Different outfits?
I wanted a very pure version of the game.
Oh.
So I didn't try any of the costumes, any of the
additional... You don't want like Pirate Leon or anything like that?
No, I didn't want Pirate Leon. I didn't want, like, Cyborg, I didn't want Cheerleader Leon.
Yeah,
I didn't want none of that.
Claire,
none of those there. But... I wanted the very pure, so even the version that we did receive was the deluxe edition, so it did come with additional guns and stuff. I stayed away from them personally myself.
What guns did you get?
I ended up getting the standard pistol that you have, a Magnum, a shotgun. There's a chemical flamethrower I got later on, and a missile launcher at one point.
Wow.
Spoilers, I suppose. But yeah. I fucking love this game, man. Like, it has put me in such a good place for the rest of 2019 that, like, this game has to and will be in my top 10 games of 2019.
I will say, as frustrating as it is, and it does take a long time. I mean, if you played it before and you know what you're doing, it will take less, of course. But, you know, usually when you review something, you play it as hard as you can, finish it, review it. But I'd go back to this. Yeah, even though we've already discussed it, I think I'm going to go back and finish it.
I'm
going to play Claire's as well, because I want to experience the whole experience.
So although I didn't try, I certainly in no way did my under 8 hour run rush at any point. I didn't want to put it down.
Well, that's the thing. Like, getting stuck and frustrated is good to come back and play it, because then you'll be like one time I didn't turn left. In an area, and there was a whole other area there that I just never explored. So I'm like, okay, you know, I was getting frustrated, getting tired. I like to play it at night.
Me too.
Losing my voice. Playing at night's the best. But then, you know, you're getting drowsy. It's already dark in there. You got the torch. You're like, did I do that? Did I not do that? Very few times that I have to die and start from another load again. Yeah. And there's enough load stations around.
Yeah, outside of boss battles where I tended to die the most, I died once, maybe twice. Outside of them, we can't talk boss fights, man.
No, I'm not talking boss fights.
Specifics.
I'd called it the boiler room.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the boiler room. It has a name, I'm sure, on the map. I got stuck in there for so long. Because you fight, not really spoilers, Guy.
Yeah, it's a known character, yeah.
Yeah, and then you get knocked down. I'm like, okay, hang on. How did I get in this room? Okay, I fought Guy and he knocked me through a panel, so I'm lower than where I need to be. And I could not, for the life of me, I just kept running around looking for a way out of there. So frustrating. So many times I get stuck in places and just run around and around.
In real life.
Then it'd be like, there's the vending machine. I've seen you 17 times today. There you are again. And on the left, there's Steve on the ground there with his blue shirt. And that one room with the office on the left, safes. How'd you go with safes?
Only like I found
7 left, 15 right, 9 left. Still can't open it. I know it. Look it up. 7 left, 15 right, 9 left. How do you open a safe?
You did exactly the rules.
Right. Okay. So you turn left.
Yeah, you turn the thing
but
left.
the dial turns the other way. Right. So do I need to press left and then stop it at 7 and press X?
See, I don't know because I got it open. So
we'll see. Because you press X and they step away. So it must mean it's wrong. So then I move the thing like clockwise so that it's going right. Press X. Doesn't work. I'm like, that is the code. I am in the goddamn right room. I'm reading the note again. Won't open. And that's where I'm like, it better not be the fucking key. Because if it is, this is bullshit. But if it's like shotgun shells, that's going to be bullshit. So I don't know if there's keys. I don't think the keys are anywhere in the safes.
No.
But it's bullshit. Safes are bullshit.
Final thoughts.
Safes are bullshit. It's only frustrating because that's what Resident Evil 2 is. So once I got past that and remembered the not grind to it, but the way that the gameplay is presented, it's great fun. And playing, like, if you play it like and buy it as like you said, first AAA title of the year, it's a great time because there are no games, and it's a nice, I want to get into games this year. This is a good start. And if you just chip it away, if you play it like 3 hours every night, it's going to be a great experience that you can play for like, a couple of months. And that'll keep you until your next game that comes out.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I thought this game was fucking fantastic. Now, if there's any, we don't score games anymore just simply because we don't like the numbering.
4.
But
what's it out of though?
I don't know.
17. Okay.
4 out of 17. Jesus.
I don't know. 17 out of 4.
It's like we don't score them anymore, but I know they can't use that tagline. It's fucking fantastic. They probably could, I suppose. But the game is exceptional. It's absolutely brilliant. It blew away all my expectations. Period. I cannot explain how much I loved this.
Are you looking forward to potentially 3 and 4?
I think 3 is what's going to get Josh all hot and bothered because for Nemesis that was his Resident Evil game.
See, my problem was Nemesis was essentially 2, but with a new character, and they use the same settings, and I was like, oh man, they've already hit the side game. You know what I mean? Then 4 brought it back. But I was already
5
gone.
was poo, and
I was
6
already
was
gone
poo, and
after.
7 was fantastic.
5 was good. 5 was the Africa one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would love. They probably won't, but I'd like them to skip over 3, do 4, because 4 is where it's at.
4 is playable on PS4 currently. There's a HD sort of up-res of it, so I think it's more likely we'll see a 3 if anything. But yeah, this game blew away all my expectations. I went into this sort of being excited and having expectations knowing that I'm going to I want to enjoy this, but it wasn't the idea of this game's going to be the fucking echelon of shit. I left it because I was talking to Zach, who's a friend, he's from Well Played, like he was also playing it as well, and we were just sort of toing and froing each other because that's his favorite game of all time. And we were just sort of, as in the original, so we were just bullshitting about how it goes and what tweaks were different, that sort of stuff, and even like just the gush, so much gush. I can't if I title off this video, it's just the gush. It's like endlessly. Like, it looked exceptional. The sound design was solid. The gameplay was tight as hell. I thoroughly enjoyed even like the tension and the feeling, and even the torch acted like a torch should. It didn't light up the whole corridor, it light up a very specific circle, and depending on where you were is how well reflecting that was of things. Everything was shiny, everything was bloody, everything was gory. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't think of any other words that are good because I've exhausted them all. That was our review of Resident Evil 2 Remake. Comes out this Friday, so in like 2 days from when this goes up. Once again, big thank you to our lovely friends over at Capcom Australia. They are exceptional and they are very kind to us. So is Capcom.
Capcom is very kind to us.
Yes,
our friends and the company, and Capcom to the people as a whole.
People's Capcom.
Capcom keep on giving.
But let us know what you think and how excited you are to get your hands on Resident Evil 2 in them comments below, as well as over the Facebook groups and all those sort of things. If you have liked what you've heard here, don't be afraid to like and subscribe and all those other YouTubey things you sprinkle at the end there. But until the next one, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Dylan Bowden.
I almost did the outro for a different show there, so that was really weird. Bye.
I'm just about to sneeze.